My name is Skylar Graudick. I'm a police officer at the Louisville Metro Police Department, and I'm a lobbyist for the Kentucky State Fraternal Order Police. And this is Connie Higgins. She was an officer on the Louisville Police Department in the 80s.
The reason I'm here is because I want to help other officers that are on the job now or will come on the job. Everybody's talking about this cap of 15 years for permanent partial disability. And what they aren't talking about is permanent disability. It will affect you too, because I was injured on the job. On November 10th, 1984, I responded to a report run. No backup, I was riding alone. It was actually a man, he was holding a young couple hostage. He kicked in the door, told me he knew the people, it was a mistake, but he'd pay for the door. He kept saying it over and over. He just got out of prison after serving 27 years, and I was only 26 years old. But anyway, he pulled out a gun, and I went to swing it away, and he shot me here. The bullet tore the nerve, entered an artery, and kept pumping towards my heart. It's in my shoulder. And I fired at him. He had his hand right here, and I hit the web of his hand, and he reached out with the gun touching me right here. He fired. I felt the bullet go over the roof of my mouth, straight through my head. It slammed into C1. To this day, I have so many bullet fragments in my head, they can't count them. And then I recoiled backward so far, and it went through my head. You're 26 years old, and you're going to die on this apartment floor. But I couldn't take another hit. It's so devastating to be shot in the face. And I fired twice, and he dropped from my sights. So I stopped because these people didn't even have a telephone. And back then, our radios were as big as our guns. And my left arm didn't work anymore. Immediately. And I didn't want to turn my back on him because I didn't know. He could have been reloading for all I knew. I didn't know if I hit him or not. So I went to step to my left to head out the apartment doorway, and it squished. My shoe was so full of my blood from him hitting that artery. But I got out and I holstered my gun. I called for help. Now here's the thing, the department made me retire at 29 after a year after my last surgery. They wouldn't let me work inside. They keep saying there's other jobs. Well, they wouldn't. But anyway, I got help. And I made a settlement with workers' comp. And I went on to college, became a registered nurse. I worked at University of Louisville Hospital. It was just like being on the job again. I loved it. But I was diagnosed with PTSD combat before I ever retired. And in 1998, 14 years after the event, the PTSD won, and I was going to take my life. And I called my friend, who happened to be my attorney, just to tell him, because I'd promised him I wouldn't. I can't keep my promise anymore. The part of the bill they haven't talked about yet is that if you don't file again within 4 years after the injury, you can't get anything. I was disabled 14 years after, before we reopened the case, or I wouldn't be here today. And this is doing nothing to me. This bill doesn't touch me, but it touches every other officer on this job. And you think if you settle the case, you're settled. It's not settled. I was 26 years old when that happened. I will be 60 this year, and they have kept trying to come after me. And if I didn't have an attorney to help me, I'd been gone, because I'll be 60 this year, and they tried to take my medication away again just 5 months ago. And they keep doing this to people because they know we can't afford an attorney. They keep saying you can reapply in 2 years. How? How? You can't beat them. They have all the money to expend. This time they had to go to a doctor in Ohio to get somebody to say that I don't need any benefits. I've healed remarkably well, no surgeries needed. I had 3 on the arm and 1 to remove the bullet from my C1. That part of the bill we haven't talked about. So we need to get strong on this. They passed it here, and we've got to fight it, because what caliber of police do you want when you're asleep in your bed? Because you're not going to get good quality if you're not going to have their back.